Hi, everyone, welcome to this video where we'll be taking a look at the basic gameplay mechanics for Shadowdark the role-playing game. Whether you're a beginner or just need a refresher, this video will give you an overview of the rules so you can start playing right away. Let's start with your character's actions. As a player, you drive the story along by telling your actions to the Game Master or a GM, for short. The GM acts as a referee and narrates the results of your choices as a player and your actions as a character. It's important to view your choices from your character's perspective and ask yourself, if I were really my character, what would I do right now? You can only do so much in a turn. The average turn consists of doing an action and a movement for your character. On your turn, you'll describe an action that you'll take, such as shooting an arrow at a troll. The GM might ask you to roll a dice to determine whether your action succeeds. During your turn, you can move up to the near range category, which is roughly 30 feet. Remember that you can break this movement up between your action. If you don't take an action, you can move again. Time is divided into rounds, and each person takes a turn starting with the GM and going clockwise. The dice in Shadowdark are the classic polyhedral set of 4-sided D4, 6-sided D6, 8-sided D8, 10-sided D10, 12-sided D12, and 20-sided D20 die. Depending on the situation, the GM might have you roll with advantage or disadvantage. Advantage is when you roll 2 times and use the better result. Disadvantage is when you roll 2 times and use the worse result. Stats are your character's quantifiable characteristics. Each stat ranges from 3 at the lowest to 18 at the highest. If your stat is in a certain range, there is a bonus or penalty called a modifier, or mod, that factors into checks. These stat modifiers can be anywhere from a negative to a positive 4. Strength is your physical power. Dexterity is your agility and reflexes. Constitution is your physical endurance and resistance to injuries and illnesses. Intelligence is your ability to find patterns in the world and recall information about events and people throughout history. Wisdom is your intuition, instinct, and willpower. Charisma is your force of personality and how much people like you. Players roll for checks when their character is attempting a risky action. You roll a 20-sided dice and add the modifier for the stat that you would be using. The GM uses the check result and compares it to the difficulty check number for the challenge. If the total of your rolled 20-sided dice plus the stat modifier equals or beats the difficulty check number, your action succeeds. For example, the GM might say that leaping over a narrow chasm requires a difficulty check of 12 using your strength stat for the check. Hit points, also known as HP, are used to track the lingering injuries caused when you take damage during the course of an adventure. Typical weapons deal 1 6-sided dice worth of damage to your hit points. You regain all your lost hit points after a night of rest. Characters at 0 hit points die in 1d4 plus your Constitution modifier rounds, with a minimum of 1 round. Characters will die unless healed, stabilized, or roll a natural 20 on their turn. Dead characters are retired from play, so be quick. If this is your first time playing Shadowdark, it is helpful to start with a pre-made character that you can find for free in the digital Shadowdark RPG Quick Start set. Have a great day and I hope that this helped.